Well, good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review. Today you have the Rhino. And before we get into this review, we'll talk about one thing, right? How hard it is sometimes to go into a review fully open-minded. I mean, usually I can do it. Yeah, I'm turning 42 and I have a pimple in the middle of my fucking forehead. Usually I can go into this stuff 100% or 90% or even down to 75% open-minded, you know? And other times, I get something and I pick it up and I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. And then I start reading it and I'm like, oh, maybe it's not going to be as good. And we've had this conversation now about craft beers and real fruit, or at least from concentrate, at the very least from concentrate. This is Vancouver Island Brewing, and it is their Beach Shack Guava Blonde. And it sounds like a fairly good beer. And then I look over at the ingredients, which makes me wonder, are they owned by a big guy? Or what? But I mean, we have over here, oh, it says it's independent. The Craft Brewery. Okay, so it's part of the Craft Brewers Alliance. It's an independent Craft Brewers Alliance thing. So, makes me somewhat sadder. Anyway, we have water, barley, wheat, hops, yeast, natural flavors. I think unless you're making something where it's extremely, and I mean extremely hard to find the article, and you have to use natural flavors, maybe you should just not make it. Maybe, and I get it, you know, sometimes some of the fruits and stuff, and depending on the season, can make it cost prohibitive. I understand that. So maybe just don't make it. Maybe just don't make it. Especially when, and this is the thing, right? When we all started, as I'm talking, I'll start pouring and stuff. We all started in the craft beer industry as all handmade, handcrafted, all natural ingredients, all great ingredients, nothing, no extracts, no this, no that, no. Everything is peachy keen. It's all made in a way that the big guys wouldn't do it. And now, a lot of the craft brewers seem to be, I shouldn't say a lot, some craft brewers seem to be making things in basically the exact same way the big guys would. Because if Anheuser-Busch or Sleeman or Molson was to make a fruit beer, they'd be using natural flavors. Well, I mean, I suppose they could be using artificial flavors as well, and some of them have. But natural flavors is usually what they're going with. They're not usually going with actual lime or actual lemon or actual raspberry or even down to from concentrate. They're going with natural flavoring. So it's one of those meh things that just makes me stop and wonder, right? Like, where's craft brewing going? And it seems like everybody's okay with this stuff, and I don't think I am. And I remember I had an argument once with Mark from Left Field about using just random adjuncts for no reason, or filtering with specific additives, because there was things that he was using to help filter his beer, and I'm like, well, you could just not filter it, or filter it with just diatomaceous earth, or, you know, so many of the different ways we've filtered in the world. But you're using one of the systems that the big guys use to pull more particulates out of the beer. And basically what it would do is you'd add it to your beer and things would stick to it and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then when you put it through the filter, it would take those globules out. And I mean, There's nothing fully wrong with it, but if we're going to sit here and talk about how we're so much different than the big guys, we shouldn't use the same practices as the big guys, in my opinion. But hey, that's just me. Let's smell it. It is darker than I expected it to be, which makes me wonder if the natural flavors is a from concentrate. But I don't know what a guava juice from concentrate would look like. Um, but I really like that color. That's like almost a burnt orange. I like it. I do like the color. Scent from the glass. Smells like a blonde with some fruitiness to it. Would I say guava? No, but have I cut open a fresh guava and sniffed it? Again, no. Um, had a lot of guava flavored things, be it from beers that used actual guava or beers that used guava flavoring or pops that used guava. I've had a lot of guava in my life, but not real guava. To the point that, like I said, I mean, you could have just wrote guava on there, and I would have been like, "Hey, look at that!" Because I don't know what guava juice looks like. I don't. I don't. I don't. I do know what actual pomegranate juice looks like. Oh, so when I pour a fucking bright gold pomegranate beer, I want to throw it at somebody. Okay, so this smells just your average blonde. A little bit of sweetness, a little bit of bitterness, with a little bit of added sweetness. Anyway, cheers. Let's try it. Hmm. Well, I can't say there's anything particularly wrong with this beer. It has a little bit of a bready biscuitiness on the back end, and a little bit of dirtiness on the back end. A little bit of malty sweetness up at the forefront, and a little bit of je ne sais quoi sweetness up at the front. Almost, almost pear-like, but a little different flavored. And I mean, I hear that the flavor of a guava, like the true flavor of a guava, is kind of akin to that. Not quite, but kind of. Excuse me. It's something I really should buy and try because I used to buy and try all types of fruit. Like star fruit. I remember the first time I had star fruit that I bought myself. I'm like, what the fuck is this and how do I eat it? Right? First dragon fruit I bought. First lychee I bought. First oh, what the hell's the name of those spiky berries? Braith wanted me to buy her some when we were at Nations, and I bought them, and they have like a skin you have to peel off, and then inside there's like a clear berry, and it's clear, and you eat that, and there's still a pit inside it. I think it starts with a K. But yeah, like so, I used to try all this stuff specifically so I could know what it tasted like. Guava's just one I've never done, and I don't. I want to buy a. I want to buy a durian fruit. I found a store that sells durian fruit here in town, and I want to buy one of those. But a guava is one I just never have done. So could that be guava flavoring in there? Well, I know it's guava flavoring in there, but could that be what I'm tasting? I don't know. I don't know if that's what a guava is supposed to taste like via a natural flavor. Well, does it taste like the guava pop I've had? No. Does it taste like guava beers I've had? It's reminiscent of it. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of pear-like. Um, is it bad? No. Is it good? Sure. Is it great? No. Would I drink it again? I had no problem with it, but would I pay the money for it again? It came from BC. Well, I didn't pay for this. This was sent to me, but would I pay for it? Okay, so if this was on a shelf here in Regina, because it's from BC, it would be over $5. So I don't think I would buy it again, albeit it is a fine beer. There's nothing wrong with it. So I wouldn't say no to it if it was put in front of me. So I'll go with 6.75 out of 10. I know this was a long video. I apologize. Bye-bye.